With that down, let's move into main topic number 2. And our second main topic today gets submitted to us by Roderick Walker, who writes, "Hello, John. I have been a daily listener since the AMC Closet days. Thank you so much, Roderick. I was just wondering if you think Patty Jenkins could get scrapped from her latest Star Wars project coming out because Wonder Woman 84 was so divisive. This would fall in line with what Kathleen Kennedy has done in the past with directors. Thanks. Keep up the filthy." All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And now you might be wondering, what do you mean this would be in line with what Kathy Kennedy has done with directors in the past? Well, let's not forget, there was a period of time that Kathy Kennedy had gotten Colin Trevorrow, right? And he was going to be directing the Star Wars movie. And then, what was it called? I think it was called Book of Henry came out. And it did terrible box office, did terrible with the critics and all that kind of stuff. And it wasn't too terribly long after that we found out that Colin Trevorrow was no longer directing the big Star Wars movie. And of course, the reason given officially was creative differences. Like, everybody sing along with me. And that very well could have been true. It may have had nothing to do with Book of Henry, as a matter of fact. But there's a lot of fans out there that still kind of believe that Book of Henry was the thing that got him removed from that movie. I don't know that I agree with that, but hey, it's out there. It's a possibility. So, with Wonder Woman 84 coming out, a movie that I don't hate, but I don't particularly like either. With Wonder Woman 84 coming out and getting a lot of that, divisiveness that right now Star Wars is trying to avoid, divisiveness, it's not a ridiculous question to ask. Could this also cause a Kathleen Kennedy to, say, remove Patty Jenkins at this point? Because it would be, in some ways, consistent with Kennedy's past behavior. It's not completely unreasonable for somebody to wonder that. I will say this. I don't think so. I don't expect that we're going to hear that Patty Jenkins is suddenly experiencing the same creative differences that Trevorrow did, or a long list of talent, Rob, before Trevorrow as well. The sudden magical appearance of creative differences. I suspect we won't. And on top of that, Kennedy seemed very excited and energetic about the announcement of Rogue Squadron. We go back a ways. Let's just go back and revisit it. This was in a report from IndieWire at the time. And Kathleen Kennedy's announcement, she said that Jenkins's film, this is the new Star Wars film, will explore a new, previously unexplored era of Star Wars lore set in the future beyond The Rise of Skywalker, which is very exciting to me, to be honest. In a statement on StarWars.com, Lucasfilm said Rogue Squadron will introduce a new generation of starfighter pilots as they aired. So there goes no Wedge Antilles, I suppose. A new generation of starfighter pilots as they earn their wings and risk their lives in a boundary-pushing, high-speed thrill ride and move the saga into the future era of the galaxy. So there seemed to be a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of excitement internally about the project. That doesn't automatically mean that we can't see Kennedy again lose yet another director for whatever reason. That is still a possibility, I suppose. Rob, I look at this, again, I think it's a reasonable question that the viewer asked because of Kennedy's past patterns. But it seems this feels like a different situation to me. So I actually don't think there's any danger of Patty Jenkins magically, suddenly wishing on a dreamstone, losing this particular gig. And listen, I'll be honest with you. I'm excited about this movie. I want to see her do it, especially after the way she announced it with her dad being a fighter pilot and all that kind of stuff. I'm looking forward to it. So I don't think there's any danger here yet. What do you think about this?
Well, look, we all love Patty Jenkins, right? One of the things that has been forgotten is that Wonder Woman, the original Wonder Woman, was developed by director Michelle MacLaren, who left the project shortly before filming. And it was already written, it was already scheduled, it was already planned out, and Patty Jenkins was brought in not at the 11th hour, but at the pretty close to filming. And she came in and did a great job, but it was already written, it was already scheduled, planned, and she came in to fill a hole. And I do think that having written this movie and directed the film, I think there are concerns and about this. Now, I have to say one of my favorite moments in 2020 was that promo for Rogue Squadron when she was rollerblading on the tarmac at a, yes, that is her, going up to fly an X-Wing, explaining that her father was a fighter pilot. She grew up around fighter pilots. And I'm like, you know what? That kind of passion is exactly what you want from a filmmaker. And you can't find that anywhere else. She's probably the only director working in Hollywood today at a franchise level whose dad was a fighter pilot. I mean, her dad was basically Maverick. That's how I like to imagine. And I think who better? So I'm pulling for old Patty. No, she's not even old. She's hot. She's probably not as old as Cheetah would be in Wonder Woman 3, but still, I want her to make this movie. I loved seeing her talk about it, John. I'm excited.
What about, let's discuss then for a second, not her element, but the Kathy Kennedy element of it. Now, it seems lately that the whole merry-go-round of her hiring writers and directors and losing writers and directors, that seems to have changed a little bit recently. Do you think she's going to hold course on this?
Well, the force is female, John. I think so, because even though we as fans and maybe the Rotten Tomatoes score might not be as high as they want, she did steer Charlize Theron to an Oscar in Monster. Her pedigree is good, even though, look, she's made 3 movies in the last, 15 years, and 2 of them were quite good. Now, Wonder Woman 84 has good stuff in it, but I think they're going to hold the course. I do.
Yeah. I mean, but just, and to revisit her resume, Patty Jenkins' resume, she has, first of all, she has a film that she wrote, got the honor of the AFI, American Film Institute's Film of the Year in Monster. She directed Charlize Theron to the only Academy Award win Charlize Theron's ever had as an actress. There was that. She directed a bunch of television in which she got Emmy Award nominations for her directing television in a time when, and I think we all forget this a lot, when Wonder Woman came out, the DCEU was on life support. It was in a bad way. The perception of the DCEU was really bad, despite the fact that I had liked every single one that had come out. The general perception of the DCEU was that it was in rough shape right now. Wonder Woman comes along, that Patty directed. It becomes the first bona fide critical audience and box office hit that they had, which is why, it feels like I keep looking, and I don't want this to turn into another review of Wonder Woman 84, but it confounds me, Rob, that I look at Wonder Woman 84 and I look at all the other stuff, television and the movies. And by the way, she was honored by the Cannes Film Festival as well. I look at all that stuff and I look at Wonder Woman 84 and I just like, this doesn't feel like Patty Jenkins directed this film. Like, I don't know. And I speculated about this the other day, Rob. I said, I don't know if somebody got in her ear. I don't know whether it was, Jeff Johns, or whether it was somebody from another studio, or whether it was another filmmaker this year. I don't know if somebody got in her ear and said, oh, do something completely different than you normally do. It just didn't feel like that. And that's part of the reason why I was because, I have a lot of respect for Patty Jenkins. That's part of the reason I was so disappointed in this movie, because I just expect much better from her. And I hope we get to see this Star Wars movie like you, but I also hope she gets back to doing what she does. Because what she did in Wonder Woman 84, look, again, I'm not saying Wonder Woman 84 was a train wreck, but it didn't work. At least not for me. It just didn't work. And I hope she's able to get back to what she wants to do. Anyway, question here is, guys, what do you think about this? We have seen Kathy Kennedy, pull a lot of directors out of their chairs already. Do you think it's possible that they could pull Patty Jenkins from this? I don't think they will. I certainly don't hope they will, but maybe you could see reasons why they would. Jump down into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys.